The Ryman Auditorium. It stands just a block off the street in downtown Nashville, known affectionately as Music Row. An assuming old theater, the Ryman Auditorium could easily be mistaken as just another building in any city. Indeed, if one did not know what the Ryman was famous for, one would likely just ignore the brick-covered, dirt-shaped structure. But the Ryman is one of the most important buildings in Nashville and one of the most legendary shrines in all of American pop cultural history. The Ryman Hall is the historic full-time and current part-time home of the Grand Ole Opry, the show responsible for making country music a part of American life. So let's answer this question right away because it's related to the paragraph 1 and I don't want to miss any information because as I keep reading I will forget some part and need to start all again. So yeah, let's start with this. In paragraph 1, the author describes the Ryan Auditorium as impressive in appearance and important historically. Let me see. Okay, so I think an impressive in appearance but really worth no I mean an impressive in appearance but important historically, that's what I meant. Okay, so I think this one will be related to paragraph 2, so I'll continue reading. When the Ryman first opened, though, one could not imagine its impact. Country music was not yet a genre, and the building was constructed not as a music venue, but rather as a church, which probably explains why it looks so much like a church on the outside. Thomas Ryman, a Nashville saloon owner and riverboat captain, had funded the building as a space to house the famed revivalist preacher Simon Porter Jones. Ryman had actually gone to the Jones Peak in 1885 with the intention of heckling the preacher for a laugh. Instead, John's oratory won Ryman over, and Ryman decided that then and there to build a permanent revival tent for Jones. The Ryman Auditorium was originally built to make money, hold concerts, hold political events. Let me see. Had funded the building as a space to house the famed revivalist. What does that mean? Revivalist means belief in the promotion of revival or religious fervor. John speak in So what does that mean? To hold religious meetings, right? I think to hold religious meeting. Okay. According to the passage, the Ryman Auditorium first opened in. So this will be related to paragraph 3. The Ryman Auditorium opened in 1892. Okay, so 1892, of course, is suggested right away in their first sentence of the paragraph 3. So yeah. In paragraph 3, the word anonymous most nearly means. Okay, so let's continue reading because I need to put this word in context in order to fully understand the definition because a word can have multiple meanings. So yeah. Okay. The Ryman Auditorium opened in 1892 as the Union Gospel Tabernacle. John did use it for a series of revival meetings in the 1890s. Oh, so it's in paragraph 3, but I was able to do it right away after reading their paragraph 3 too, which is incredible. And it became a regular church for other pastors too, seeing an opportunity to make money on the revenue. Ryman himself built a stage in 1901 to host touring operas from New York. The Union Gospel Tabernacle thus became a home of both religion and culture as downtown Nashville. Upon Ryman's death, 1904, John suggested the building be renamed for its founder, and an anonymous applause supported the decision. Thus, with no objections were born the Ryman Auditorium. Okay, so anonymous means that word. Anonymous applause supported the decision. So normally I understand that anonymous means supporting, right? Supporting. So that leads us to, okay, I need to find down all the definition of this word. First we have laudatory. It means expressing praise and commendation, which is not inappropriate in this case. With uproarious. It means characterized by or provoking loud noise or bro. No, it's not true as well. Discordant means in disagreement, inharmonious. Okay, so I mean this is an antonym of the word anonymous. Next, we have scattered. Scattered cannot be the case here, so which leader to the only choice, harmonious. Okay, that's correct. Next, the purpose of paragraph 6. Okay, we have to continue reading. It's like two more paragraphs. Over the next 4 decades, the Ryman transitioned from a church into a permanent auditorium. Presidents Theodore Roosevelt and William Howard Taft spoke there, as did Helen Keller and Annie Sullivan Macy. Will Rogers, Charlie Chaplin, Harry Houdin, and Enrico Caruso all had events there too. Judging by the list of names to appear there, and Ryman had clearly become an important Nashville institution. But in 1943, it would become even more important to the city, as it became the permanent home of the Grand Ole Opry. The Birth of Country. The Grand Ole Opry is a radio program that airs nationally out of the Nashville and features live performances by the biggest names in country music. While today Nashville is synonymous with the genre, before the Grand Ole Opry existed, this was not the case. The genre's rise, along with the show's rise, is a big reason Nashville grew into the city as it is today. Nashville's history is not that dissimilar from that of the other river towns that dominated cultural life in America. Cities and rivers tend to be breeding grounds for motley musical blends. It is no coincidence that New Orleans birthed jazz, given the way cultures floated both down the Mississippi and in from the Gulf of Mexico to meet there. Similarly, St. Louis helped develop blues, with white merchants coming down the Mississippi from the north and black migrants meeting them on the move from the south. And we all know about the role of Memphis, another Mississippi River town, in creating rock and roll. So it is with Nashville. The Cumberland River opened Nashville up to the country folk singers of the Appalachians as well as the blues of the Deep South, and its location in the center of the South made Nashville receptive the blues from St. Louis too. Thus, it was almost inevitable that country music, that blend of Appalachian folk and black blues, would be incubated there. Nashville became the home of many of the genre's early stars, and recording studios and concert venues made Nashville a city that all country performers had to pass through regularly. So, the true birthplace of country music. Let me read again. The way cultures flowed both down the Mississippi and in from the Gulf of Mexico. Receptive. What does the receptive means? It means like willing to consider or accept new suggestions and ideas, able to willing or receive something. Okay. So invaluable the country music would be incubated there. Incubated. There's so many new words here. Incubated. Develop slowly without outward or perceptible signs. It's really similar to that of other genres. Ryman is the true birthplace, the city of Nashville, Tennessee. So I think the correct answer here is like had to pass. Okay, so I think be the correct answer. Okay, anyway. So like I need to read the explanation because like I quite not understand what this passage is about, because it's, first of all, it has a lot of different new words, difficult new words I've never encountered before, and secondly it's something that really hard for me to imagine. So, okay, let me see their explanation. Paragraph 6 primarily discusses the histories of various music genres created in various river towns. Yep, it opens by stating that Nashville's history is not that dissimilar from that of the other river towns that dominated cultural life in America. The other goes on to describe how jazz, rock and roll, and blues originated in river towns and how country music similarly developed in the river town of Nashville. Thus, it is implied that the history of country music is similar to that of other music genres, just as Nashville's history is similar to that of Memphis, New Orleans, and St. Louis. That makes sense, really. The main purpose of this paragraph is to make that suggestion, and the author uses the paragraph as a way of making a larger point about the significance of the Ryman to a story in general. Choice A is correct as a result. Yeah, that's correct. The author does not state in paragraph 6 or anywhere else that country music was born at the Ryman auditorium. Instead, at other points in the passage, the author only argued that the Ryman played an important role in country history, though not until 1943, after country music was already established as a genre. Choice B is incorrect as a result. Though the sixth paragraph does partially describe the history of Nashville, it makes larger claims about the history of country music and the history of other cities in America. Choice C is incorrect because it does not describe the main purpose of paragraph 6. Instead, it only discusses a purpose of the paragraph. The sixth paragraph does discuss river towns, but it never discusses the economics for them nor what role trade plays in them. Instead, it discusses how river towns create cultural collisions. Choice D is incorrect as a result. The author does not refute the idea that Memphis was the birthplace of rock and roll in paragraph 6. Rather, he or she makes it clear that he or she agrees with the notion that Memphis played a role in creating rock and roll. As such, choice is incorrect. Okay, I'm sorry. It's such a little mistake. Anyway, so let's continue, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 questions in total. Okay, the Ryman Auditorium. It stands just a block of the street in downtown. I'm sorry. Continue reading the passage 7, right? Hello text. As the geographic center of the South and the eastern part of the Midwest, Nashville also became an important radio town, as its radio signal was stretched for hundreds of miles uninterrupted, since there was no other cities or mountains to interfere with the signal. Since the city had so many performers stopping through, it seemed only logical to feature them on the radio. In 1925, WSM put together a weekly showcase of the acts, eventually calling the program the Grand Ole Opry. The show grew in popularity and fanfare, and by the 1940s, the show was even picked up nationally by the NBC Red Network. As such, the show needed a large venue to support its larger audience. The program moved around various Nashville theaters until landing in the Ryman in 1943, just years before the start of a country's music's golden age, which is country music. The Ryman, as such, became the host for the best-known country acts of all time, including Hank Williams, Johnny Cash, Hank Shaw, Loretta Lynn, Kitty Wells, Dolly Parton, Merle Haggard, and Patsy Cline. The auditorium even hosted a young Elvis Presley, though he had a contract with the Opry's rival program, the Louisiana Hayride. Paragraph 7 implies the country's musical golden age occurred at the same time that. Okay, so this part, just years, the program moved around various Nashville theaters until landing the Ryman in 1943, just years before the start of country's music golden age. Was made a historical landmark, hosted the Grand Ole Opry. I think E, right? I am in two minds about D and E. Let me read again because I don't want to make another mistake. One is easy enough, okay? It's featured that Ryman not okay. Made a historical landmark. Okay, so I think D is the correct answer, even though I'm not really sure about this. I think D is the correct answer, but like the Ryman as such became the host for the best known country acts of all time. Including Hank Williams, Johnny Cash. Moved around various Nashville theaters until ending the Ryman in 1943, just years before the start of country music's golden age. Okay, I understand now. E the correct answer. Wait, what? Why? Come on, I thought like, okay, let me explain why I think the E is the correct answer. It's kind of like really a shame that it doesn't. Here, it stated just years before the start of a country's music golden age. So I think like at that time made a historical landmark. So yeah. Okay, whatever. Let's read the explanation. In paragraph 7, the author provides the story of the Grand Ole Opry and refers to country's music's golden age, starting just years after the show moved to the Ryman at 1943. As the show played at the Ryman for over 30 years, it follows that the golden age at the country music coincided with the area of the Ryman hosted the Grand Ole Opry. Okay. Well, sometimes thinking too complicated doesn't do you any good. I mean, I am using my logic to work out this answer, but it turns out I'm overthinking the answer. So, yeah, you better learn from my mistake. It doesn't make sense. Okay. According to the passage, each of the following performed the Ryman as part of the Grand Ole Opry except. Okay, we have Hank Williams, so we can eliminate the answer C. Hank Snow, Laura Lynn, alright. Kitty Wells, Dolly Parton, Merle Haggard, and Pasta Klein. So Will Rogers. Okay. The other primarily considers the Ryman Auditorium to be a building of religious significance. We have to read the rest of it. The Ryman today. In 1974, the Grand Ole Opry opened a venue outside Nashville to house the show during busy tour seasons. It still performed regularly out of the Ryman through during the off-season. Today, the Ryman Auditorium is officially recognized as a National Historic Landmark, even while it continues to host some of the biggest acts in music and film. Visitors today still even sit in pews in honor of the revival show tradition embraced by the building's creator more than 100 years ago. It is a welcome throwback to country music traditions and a welcome reminder that downtown Nashville was not always full of glass skyscrapers and condominiums. More than anything, the Ryman served as a bridge between America's culture past, present, and future. This means like to be a link between the past and present. Well, it's actually, we can eliminate D because like it's past, present, and future. The most important building in Nashville, well, it does important, but it doesn't state that this is the most important one. A building in need of renovations. Nope. The main hall of the grand building of religious significance. Well, it doesn't. Remind the downtown was not wasteful. The main home of still performs regularly out of the Ryman through off season performs regularly out of the Ryman. So B is the correct answer. Incorrect answer. Past and present. I don't want to overthink, but like D is obviously not correct, but I have some guts that D is the correct answer. But significance. My God, that's a hard question. No wonder it is a challenge question. Okay, so yeah, I think I'll choose D. Yeah, I'll choose D. I don't know. Okay. You see, I just don't overthink this question, or else I'll choose A, but turns out D the correct answer. So please don't overthink this. But yeah, I passed the test with like 75%. It isn't bad, right? Review all my answers. I make two mistakes. Yeah, I think it's fine. Anyway, 10th grade is kind of hard, so I didn't expect to correct all the times. Yeah, so I'll see you in the next video tomorrow. So bye.